The massive alien ship hung in space like a predator watching its prey. It was 10 times larger than the biggest human spaceship ever built. Its dark metal surface reflected no light. Behind it, hundreds more ships waited, forming a wall of power that humanity had never faced before. Captain Eliana Reyes stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, her ship tiny compared to the alien vessel before her. She was 42 years old with short black hair and eyes that had seen too many battles. The Defiant was humanity's best warship, but right now it felt like a rowboat facing a hurricane. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," said Lieutenant Chen from his station. His fingers moved quickly over the controls. "They're requesting to speak with our leader." Eliana took a deep breath. 6 days ago, these aliens had appeared at the edge of human space. They had destroyed 2 research stations without warning. Now they wanted to talk. "Put it on the main screen," she ordered. Her voice was calm, hiding the fear she felt inside. The screen flickered to life, showing a creature that looked nothing like a human. It had gray skin with a hard shell covering parts of its face. 4 yellow eyes blinked at different times. When it opened its mouth, Eliana saw rows of small, sharp teeth. "I am General Zorthak of the Krellvorn Empire," the alien said. Its voice came through the translator with a metallic sound. "I speak to you as the representative of your species." Eliana straightened her back and looked directly at the screen. "I am Captain Eliana Reyes of the United Earth Space Force. I have been authorized to speak on behalf of humanity." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your species is new to the stars. You have spread to only 12 planets. Your technology is primitive. Your weapons are weak." "We wish for peaceful contact with all species," Eliana said, sticking to the script she had been given. "We have no quarrel with the Krellvorn." "Peace is for the strong to give to the weak as a gift," Zorthak said. "Not for the weak to request from the strong." Eliana felt her crew's eyes on her. 20 men and women watched and listened, their faces showing the same tension she felt. "We have observed your kind for some time," the alien general continued. "Your planets are rich in resources we require. Your people will serve the Empire well." "Serve?" Eliana asked, though she already knew what he meant. "Your species will join the Empire as a subject race. Those who accept will live. Those who resist will not." The bridge fell silent. Eliana's mind raced through the options. Earth's military leaders had feared something like this might happen one day. Humanity had spread to the stars only 80 years ago. They were still learning, still growing. "General Zorthak," she said carefully, "surely our species can find a way to coexist without one ruling the other." The alien's eyes narrowed. "You misunderstand, human. This is not a negotiation. It is merely a courtesy before we begin. I have come with 1 million of our finest soldiers. Your entire Space Force has less than 50,000. Your defeat is certain." Eliana looked at the tactical display on her console. The alien was not lying. Sensors showed ships and transport vessels carrying what could easily be 1 million troops or more. 1 million soldiers, Zorthak repeated, seeing her check her data. "More than enough to conquer your worlds one by one. We will begin with your colony on Mars, then proceed to Earth. Prepare your leaders to surrender within 3 of your Earth days." Something changed in Eliana's expression. A memory flashed through her mind, a top-secret briefing she had attended 6 months ago. Project Symbiosis, the technology that had been developed in secret for 15 years. She stood taller and looked directly at the alien general. "General Zorthak." "I hear that you have 1 million soldiers," she said, her voice steady and clear. "Yes," the alien responded with what seemed like pride. 1 million of the Empire's finest warriors." Eliana allowed herself a small smile. "Then I possess 1 million. Confusion showed on the alien's strange face. "Your words make no sense, human. Your entire military force—" "You'll understand soon enough," she interrupted. "We decline your offer of surrender." The alien general's expression changed to what Eliana guessed was anger. "Then you have chosen extinction. We will begin our attack in 6 hours." The screen went black. Lieutenant Chen turned to her, his face pale. "Captain, what did you mean? We don't have 1 million soldiers. We don't even have 100,000 in the entire Space Force." Eliana turned to her communications officer. "Send the Phoenix protocol message to Earth Command. Authorization Reyes Alpha 793. "Yes, Captain," the officer replied, quickly typing the command. "All hands, battle stations," Eliana ordered, "and prepare the ship for emergency jump to the Mars defense perimeter." As the crew rushed to comply, Commander Jackson, her second-in-command, approached her. Captain, may I speak freely? Go ahead, David. Did you just provoke an alien armada that outguns us 100 to 1? He asked quietly. Eliana looked at the tactical display showing the massive alien fleet. I did. With all due respect, what you said about possessing 1,000,000, was that a bluff? Eliana lowered her voice. No, but it's classified beyond your clearance level. She paused, then added, for now. The ship's engines hummed as they prepared for the jump to Mars. Eliana knew that what would happen next would change humanity forever. Project Symbiosis had never been tested in actual combat. But they had no choice now, Captain. We're ready to jump, the navigator announced. Execute, Eliana ordered. The stars outside the viewport streaked into lines as the ship accelerated to faster than light speed. In her mind, Eliana was already planning the defense of Mars. The alien general thought he understood warfare. He thought he understood power. He was about to learn how wrong he was. As the Defiant raced toward Mars, emergency signals were already reaching Earth and all human colonies. Project Symbiosis was being activated. Across human space, special operators were reporting to hidden facilities. The technology that had been developed in secret was about to be revealed. The war for humanity's future had begun. In 6 hours, General Zorthak would learn exactly what Captain Eliana Reyes had meant. And it would change everything. The red dust of Mars swirled around the defense outpost. Alarms blared as soldiers ran to their positions. 6 hours had passed since Captain Reyes's confrontation with the alien general. Now the Krellvorn ships darkened the sky above the Martian colony. Inside the command center, Eliana studied the tactical displays. The Mars colony housed 30,000 civilians and just under 2,000 military personnel. Against them, sensors showed over 100,000 alien troops preparing to land. Status report on Project Symbiosis? Eliana asked. Commander Rivera, the Mars defense commander, looked up from his console. The operators are in position, Captain. 15 of them. The neural link stations are online? Only 15? Lieutenant Chen asked, his voice worried. Eliana nodded. That's all we need for now. Outside, the first alien ships began their descent toward the surface. They looked like massive black beetles falling from the sky. Each one carried thousands of Krellvorn soldiers. They're jamming our communications with Earth, reported the communications officer. Expected, Eliana said. Activate local defense network and bring the operators online. In a secured room below the command center, 15 men and women lay in specialized chairs. Each wore a helmet covered with blinking lights and sensors. Medical officers monitored their vital signs as technicians activated the neural interface systems. The operators' eyes were closed, but their minds were awakening to something much larger than their physical bodies. Chief Operator Marcus Lee felt the familiar rush as his consciousness expanded. The neural link technology allowed his mind to connect directly with machines. But not just one machine, many. As the system came fully online, Marcus could feel hundreds of connections forming in his mind. All operators report ready status, came a voice through the command center speakers. Eliana turned to Rivera. Deploy the defense units. Throughout the Martian colony and the surrounding desert, hidden bay doors slid open in the red soil. From underground bunkers rose hundreds of machines. Some were the size of cars walking on 6 mechanical legs with weapons mounted on their bodies. Others were smaller, flying drones with sensors and light weapons. The largest units were humanoid mechs standing 15 feet tall, heavily armored and armed. None of these machines had pilots or traditional control systems. They had been built for Project Symbiosis. On the command center's main screen, Eliana watched as the first wave of alien dropships landed. Doors opened and Krellvorn soldiers poured out. They wore armor that made them look even less human, like insects standing on 2 legs carrying energy weapons. They're heading straight for the main colony dome, Chen observed. Eliana nodded. Just as expected. They want to take the civilian population first. She tapped her comlink. Operators, you are cleared to engage. Protect the colony. In the neural link chamber, Marcus Lee's physical body remained still, but his mind raced across the Martian landscape. He could see through the sensors of 50 different machines simultaneously. He could feel their mechanical limbs as if they were his own. With a thought, he moved them into position. The other operators did the same. 15 human minds controlling 750 combat units. The first Krellvorn squad approached the colony dome, unaware of the machines hiding behind rock formations. At Eliana's command, the attack began. On the command center screens, everyone watched as the machines sprang into action. They moved with surprising grace and coordination. The six-legged units scuttled forward with perfect precision. The flying drones executed complex maneuvers no autopilot could match. The mechs moved like giant soldiers, taking cover and firing with expert aim. The aliens were caught completely by surprise. "My God," whispered Commander Rivera as he watched. "They're moving like they're alive." "Better than alive," Eliana replied. "They're moving with human intelligence but machine speed and precision." The Krellvorn soldiers fought back fiercely. Their weapons cut through some of the smaller drones, but they couldn't match the coordination of the human-controlled machines. When one unit was damaged, the operator simply shifted focus to their other connected machines without missing a beat. On his flagship in orbit, General Zorthak watched the battle with growing confusion. "What is this?" he demanded of his commanders. "The humans have no soldiers on the surface, only machines." "The machines move unlike any we have encountered before," replied his second-in-command. "They appear to be remotely controlled but with impossible coordination." "Send in the second wave," Zorthak ordered. "Target their control centers." More alien ships descended toward Mars. This time they targeted the military installations rather than the civilian areas. In the command center, Eliana received reports of the shifting attack. "They're learning," she said. "Commander, begin evacuation of all non-essential personnel from this facility." "What about the operators?" Rivera asked. "They stay?" "And so do I." Eliana checked the tactical display again. "Redirect 200 units to our position." Below, in the neural link chamber, the operators were in a state of total concentration. Their physical bodies showed signs of stress, increased heart rates, sweat on their foreheads, but their minds were spread across the battlefield. Marcus felt 3 of his connected units destroyed by alien fire, but immediately shifted his attention to his remaining machines. The experience was unlike anything a normal human could understand. He wasn't giving orders to these machines, he was these machines, feeling and controlling dozens of bodies simultaneously. The battle intensified as more Krellvorn forces landed. Despite the effectiveness of the human-controlled machines, the aliens' numbers began to tell. They pushed closer to the command center. "Captain," Chen reported, "I'm detecting a massive energy buildup from the alien flagship. They're preparing to fire their main weapon at our position." Eliana made a quick decision. "All operators disengage from defensive operations. Execute Protocol Omega." In the neural link chamber, the operators received the new command. They shifted their focus, connecting to a different set of machines. Hidden in orbit around Mars, special units activated. These weren't combat machines, but electronic warfare platforms. As the 15 operators connected to them, the machines came alive with human intelligence. The Krellvorn flagship prepared to fire its main cannon at the Mars command center. But suddenly its systems faltered. Warnings flashed across alien control panels. Their targeting systems failed. Communications between ships broke down. "What is happening?" General Zorthak demanded as his ship's lights flickered. "Some form of electronic attack," his technology officer reported. "It is unlike anything in our records. The patterns keep changing, adapting to our countermeasures instantly." On Mars, Eliana watched as the alien attack faltered. The electronic warfare was working. The human operators were directly interfacing with the alien systems, finding weaknesses no computer could spot, exploiting them with human creativity and intuition. "Now, we see if the second phase works," she said quietly. The neural link technology had been designed with another capability, the ability to interface with any sufficiently advanced computer system, even alien ones. It was theoretical, untested in real combat until now. In the neural link chamber, Marcus felt his mind touch something alien and strange, the computer systems of the Krellvorn ships. It was difficult, like trying to read a book in an unknown language, but not impossible. The human brain's adaptability was proving its worth. Across the Martian battlefield, alien weapons suddenly stopped working. Their communications went dead. Some of their vehicles shut down completely. In orbit, General Zorthak stared in disbelief as reports came in of widespread systems failures. Impossible, he muttered. No species has technology that can do this. His second-in-command approached cautiously. General, we must retreat and regroup. We are losing too many soldiers for no gain. Zorthak's four eyes narrowed. The human captain's words, "Then I possess 1,000,000. Could this be what she meant? The general made his decision. Sound the retreat. All forces return to orbit. As his commanders rushed to comply, Zorthak stared at the red planet below. This is not over, he promised. On Mars, Eliana watched as the alien forces pulled back. The human-controlled machines did not pursue, instead forming a defensive perimeter around the colony. They're retreating, Commander Rivera said, amazement in his voice. For now, Eliana replied, this was just the first battle. In the neural link chamber, the operators were finally disconnected from the system. They emerged exhausted but successful. They had just proven that Project Symbiosis worked even better than its designers had hoped. Marcus sat up slowly as medical staff checked his vital signs. Did we win? He asked, his voice hoarse. We won the battle, Eliana said, entering the chamber. But the war has just begun. Rest while you can. Next time they'll be ready for us. As the alien ships pulled away from Mars, Eliana knew that General Zorthak would not give up so easily. But now he understood what she had meant. Each human operator could control or influence hundreds of machines simultaneously. Against 1,000,000 alien soldiers, humanity had a fighting chance. The message went out to all human colonies. Project Symbiosis was no longer secret. It was humanity's best hope for survival. 3 days after the Battle of Mars, the Krellvorn fleet regrouped near Jupiter's orbit. Inside his flagship, General Zorthak reviewed the battle recordings for the 20th time. His four eyes narrowed as he watched the human machines move with impossible coordination. It should not be possible, he said to his science officer. No artificial intelligence can adapt so quickly or show such creativity. The science officer, a slender Krellvorn named Velthar, pointed to specific sections of the recording. Our analysis suggests these machines are not controlled by AI at all. They appear to be directly controlled by human minds. How? The general demanded. Unknown. But intercepts from their communications mention something called Project Symbiosis and operators. We believe they have developed a neural interface technology. Zorthak paced the command deck. This changes our approach. If their advantage is this neural control, then we must target the controllers, not just the machines. We have located their main control center, Velthar reported. It is on their orbital station above Earth. Our spies report that they call it Aegis Station. The general's mouth formed what passed for a smile among his species. Then that is where we will strike next. On Aegis Station, Captain Eliana Reyes stood in the newly expanded Neural Link Center. What had once been a small research facility had been transformed into humanity's main defense hub. 50 neural link pods had been installed, with space for 50 more. Dr. Sarah Chen, the lead scientist for Project Symbiosis, walked beside her. The operators from Mars performed beyond our expectations, she explained. The neural load was higher than in simulations, but they managed it. And the connection to the alien systems? Eliana asked. Partial success. We couldn't gain full control, but we could cause disruptions. With more data on their technology, we might do better. Commander David Jackson joined them, carrying a tablet with the latest defense plans. The Krellvorn fleet is moving, Captain. They're heading toward Earth. Eliana had expected this. How many ships? At least 300. They're bringing everything this time. Eliana turned to Dr. Chen. How many operators are ready? 42 are certified for combat operations. Another 30 are in final training. It will have to be enough, Eliana said. She tapped her communicator. This is Captain Reyes. All operators report to stations. All defense units prepare for deployment. This is not a drill. Throughout the solar system, humanity prepared for the coming battle. Earth's traditional military forces, ships, fighters, ground troops moved into defensive positions. But everyone knew they were mainly a backup. The real defense would come from Project Symbiosis. In orbit around Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn, thousands of machine units waited. Some were visible: defensive satellites, combat drones, and mech units. Others were hidden: electronic warfare platforms, stealth units, and newly developed hybrid machines that incorporated elements of captured alien technology. Inside Aegis Station, the operators prepared for battle. They were a mix of military personnel and civilians with the rare neural compatibility required for the system. Each could control hundreds of machines simultaneously, an ability that made them the most valuable humans alive. Marcus Lee, now promoted to chief operator after his success on Mars, addressed the newer operators. Remember your training. Don't spread your consciousness too thin. If you lose a unit, let it go and focus on the others. And most importantly, trust your instincts. The machines can process data faster than we can, but only human creativity and intuition can use that data effectively. As the operators entered their pods, Eliana made a ship-wide announcement. This station will be the Krellvorn's primary target. All non-essential personnel have been evacuated. Those who remain have chosen to stand and fight. Remember what we're protecting, not just our lives, but our right to determine our own future as a species. The alien fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's space, their dark ships blocking the stars. General Zorthak's flagship led the formation. No communication this time, Zorthak ordered. They had their chance for surrender. Launch all fighters. Target their control station. The battle began with a wave of alien fighters surging toward Earth. They were met by human-controlled defense drones that moved with unnerving precision. The space around Earth became a chaotic battlefield of energy weapons, explosions, and debris. In the Neural Link Center, the operators' bodies lay still, while their minds soared across the battlefield. Each controlled hundreds of units, feeling every hit, every victory, every loss as if it were happening to their own body. Marcus focused on a group of electronic warfare units, using them to disrupt the aliens' communications. Other operators controlled defensive units, attacking alien ships with coordinated precision that no traditional fleet could match. General Zorthak watched the battle with growing frustration. Once again, the human machines were proving more effective than expected. But this time, he had planned for it. Deploy the pulse ships, he ordered. 5 specially modified ships moved into position around Earth's orbit. They powered up their main weapons, not energy cannons, but electromagnetic pulse generators designed to disable electronic systems. In the Neural Link Center, Dr. Chen noticed unusual energy readings. Captain, they're preparing to fire some kind of EMP weapon. Eliana immediately understood the threat. All operators disconnect from units in sectors 5 through 9. Reroute control to protected units. The operators shifted their focus, disconnecting from machines in the threatened areas just as the alien ships fired. Massive pulses of energy swept across space, disabling hundreds of human defense units. But the operators had moved quickly enough. They redirected their control to units in other sectors, maintaining the defense. On his flagship, Zorthak growled in frustration. They adapted too quickly. Target their station directly. All weapons. The alien fleet concentrated its fire on Aegis Station. The station's shields held, but they were weakening with each hit. Eliana felt the station shudder under the barrage. Status report. Shields at 60% and falling, reported the defense officer. We can't take this level of fire for long. Eliana made a decision. It's time for the counterstrike.
All operators execute Protocol Typhon. In the Neural Link Center, the operators received the command.
They shifted their focus again, this time connecting to a special set of units that had been hidden throughout the solar system. These were infiltration units designed to penetrate enemy ships. On the Krellvorn ships, alarms began to sound. Small, almost invisible machines had attached themselves to the hulls. They cut through the metal, gaining access to internal systems. Intruder alert on multiple decks, reported Zorthak's security officer. Small machines have breached our hulls. Destroy them. The general ordered, but these machines were different. Each one carried a small neural transmitter, extending the range of the human operators. As they penetrated deeper into the alien ships, the operators gained greater access to the Krellvorn systems. Marcus felt his mind touch the alien technology again, but this time with a stronger connection. The alien computer language was still strange, but now he had direct access through the infiltration units. He began to understand how to manipulate it. Across the alien fleet, systems began to fail. Weapons powered down. Shields flickered. On some ships, life support systems threatened to shut off. General Zorthak watched in horror as his fleet lost control. "What is happening?" he demanded. "The humans," Velthar replied, his voice filled with a new emotion, fear. "They're inside our systems. Somehow they're controlling our ships." On Aegis Station, Eliana received reports of the successful infiltration. "It's working," she told Dr. Chen. "The operators are gaining control of their systems." But the victory was not complete. The alien soldiers fought back, destroying many of the infiltration units, and the strain on the human operators was becoming severe. In the Neural Link Center, warning alarms sounded as several operators showed signs of neural stress. Dr. Chen rushed to check their vital signs. "They can't maintain this level of connection much longer," she warned Eliana. "The alien systems are too different, too complex. It's causing neural feedback." Eliana faced a difficult choice: push the operators harder and risk permanent damage, or pull back and lose their advantage. She chose a third option. All operators focus on their flagship. Forget the rest of the fleet. Target General Zorthak's command systems. The operators redirected their efforts, concentrating on the alien flagship. Marcus led the assault, pushing through the pain of neural feedback to reach deeper into the ship's systems. On his flagship, Zorthak watched as his control panels went dark. Emergency lighting cast a red glow over the command deck. Even the artificial gravity began to fluctuate. "General," Velthar said urgently, "we are losing all control. We must abandon ship." "Never," Zorthak snarled. "I will not be defeated by primitive humans and their tricks." But he had no choice. As more systems failed, the flagship began to drift, powerless, toward Earth's gravity well. The general gave the order he never thought he would give. "All ships, retreat. Fall back to the jump point." The alien fleet, those ships still under their own control, began to withdraw. The human-controlled machines did not pursue, instead forming a defensive sphere around Earth and Aegis Station. In the Neural Link Center, the operators were finally disconnected from the system. Many collapsed from exhaustion. Some need 1 month after the Battle of Earth. Humanity had gained a momentary respite. The captured Krellvorn flagship provided valuable intelligence on alien technology. Scientists and engineers worked day and night to understand and adapt it, but General Zorthak had not given up. His remaining fleet had retreated to a base on Titan, Saturn's largest moon. There, hidden from human sensors, he planned his next move. "The humans' advantage is their neural technology," he told his commanders. "We must understand it. And to understand it, we must capture one of their operators." Inside a laboratory on the Titan base, the alien science officer Velthar studied human biology. "Their brains are unusual," he explained to the general. "They form neural connections differently than any species we've encountered. This may be why they can link with machines so effectively." Zorthak leaned closer to the displays. "Can we replicate this ability?" "Not with our biology," Velthar admitted. "But we might be able to block it, disrupt their connections." The general's eyes gleamed. "Develop this disruption technology, and prepare a special operations team. We're going to capture an operator." On Aegis Station, the Neural Link Center had been expanded again. New safety protocols had been implemented after several operators suffered neural strain during the last battle. Marcus Lee stood beside Dr. Chen as they tested the improved neural interface system. "The connection feels cleaner," he reported. "Less feedback." Dr. Chen nodded, making notes on her tablet. "We've incorporated elements of Krellvorn technology. Their quantum processing is more efficient than ours." Captain Eliana Reyes entered the center, accompanied by a group of new recruits, potential operators who had shown high neural compatibility. "These are the best candidates from the latest screening," she explained. "We need to get them trained as quickly as possible." Among the recruits was Maya Santos, a 25-year-old former pilot who had scored the highest compatibility rating ever recorded. She looked around the Neural Link Center with wide eyes. "Is it true what they say?" she asked Marcus. "That you can feel every machine you control like it's part of your body?" Marcus nodded. "That and more. You become something greater than human, but still human at the core." He hesitated, then added, "It's addictive. Some operators have trouble disconnecting, returning to the limitations of a single body." "Maya will start training immediately," Eliana said. "Intelligence suggests the Krellvorn are regrouping. We need every operator we can get." As the other recruits were led to the training area, Eliana pulled Marcus aside. "We've detected unusual activity near Jupiter's moons. Possible Krellvorn scouts. I want you to lead a reconnaissance mission. What kind of units will I be controlling? Marcus asked. The new stealth models. They incorporate the cloaking technology we adapted from the captured flagship. Hours later, Marcus lay in his neural link pod, his mind connected to a squadron of stealth reconnaissance units deployed near Jupiter. These machines were smaller than previous models, with better sensors and the ability to temporarily cloak from detection. Marcus directed them with practiced ease. His consciousness split between 20 different units as they searched for signs of alien activity. One unit detected an energy signature coming from Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon. He focused his attention there, directing 3 units to investigate. They approached cautiously, staying in stealth mode. What Marcus found alarmed him. The Krellvorn had established a small base beneath Europa's icy surface. His units detected a powerful energy source and unusual radiation patterns. "Captain," he reported through the neural link's communication system. "They're building something on Europa, some kind of device that's emitting radiation we've never seen before. Can you get closer?" Eliana asked from the command center. "I'll try." Marcus directed his stealth units to approach the alien base. They slipped past outer defenses, their cloaking technology holding. But as they got closer to the central facility, something strange happened. One by one, Marcus lost connection with his units. Not because they were destroyed, but because his neural link simply faded. "Something's wrong," he reported. "I'm losing the connection. It's not damage to the units. It's like there's interference with the neural link itself." "Pull back," Eliana ordered immediately. "Get your remaining units out of there." Marcus withdrew the stealth units that were still under his control. As they moved away from the alien base, his connection to them strengthened again. After disconnecting from the neural link, Marcus met with Eliana and Dr. Chen to discuss what had happened. "They're developing some kind of neural disruptor," Dr. Chen concluded after reviewing the data. "It interferes with the quantum fields that allow the neural link to function. If they deploy this technology widely, Project Symbiosis could be neutralized," Eliana said, concern evident in her voice. "We need more information," Marcus said. "I need to go back, get closer." Eliana shook her head. "Too risky. If they detect you and deploy that disruptor at full power, you could suffer permanent neural damage." But they had no choice. The Krellvorn technology posed too great a threat. The next day, Marcus volunteered to lead a more dangerous mission. Not just remote reconnaissance, but direct infiltration. "We've modified a neural link pod to fit inside a small stealth ship," Dr. Chen explained. "You'll maintain your primary connection to the reconnaissance units, but you'll be physically closer to Europa. This should strengthen the link enough to overcome mild disruption." The mission was approved. Hours later, Marcus was aboard the stealth ship approaching Europa while connected to his reconnaissance units. With him was a small team of Special Forces soldiers, ready to extract him if something went wrong. As they neared the alien base, Marcus felt the disruption begin again, a strange fuzzing of his neural connection. But this time, being physically closer, he was able to maintain control of his units. What he discovered confirmed their worst fears. The Krellvorn were building neural disruptors, devices designed specifically to block the human neural link technology. And they were preparing to install them on all their ships and ground units. As Marcus guided his reconnaissance units deeper into the alien facility, he detected something else, a heavily guarded chamber in the center of the base. Inside was what appeared to be a human neural link pod, modified with alien technology. "They've captured one of our operators," he reported, his voice tense. The data confirmed it. Operator Thomas Rodriguez, reported missing after a skirmish near Saturn 2 weeks ago, was being held in the facility. The aliens were studying him, learning how the neural link worked by examining his brain patterns. "We need to rescue him," Marcus said, "not just because he's one of us, but because every minute they have him gives them more data on how to counter our technology." Eliana made the decision quickly. "Convert this to a rescue mission. You have authorization to use combat units." Marcus connected to a squadron of combat drones that had been following the stealth ship at a distance. As they approached Europa, he directed them in an attack pattern designed to draw attention away from his position. The alien base's defenses activated, firing at the incoming drones. Marcus sacrificed some units to maintain the distraction, while directing others to target specific defense systems. Meanwhile, The stealth ship landed on Europa's surface near a secondary entrance to the alien base. The Special Forces team prepared to enter, with Marcus still in his neural link pod, splitting his attention between the combat drones and guidance for the rescue team. The neural disruption is stronger inside the base, he warned them. I may lose contact. The team entered the alien facility following Marcus's directions toward the chamber where Rodriguez was held. They encountered Krellvorn soldiers and engaged in firefights, but their element of surprise gave them an advantage. As they pushed deeper into the base, Marcus felt his neural connection weakening. The disruption field was stronger here. He struggled to maintain control of his units. Hurry, he told the rescue team. I can't hold the link much longer. The team reached the chamber where Rodriguez was held. They eliminated the alien guards and found the captured operator connected to strange equipment. He was alive but unconscious, his neural patterns being recorded and analyzed by alien computers. As they disconnected Rodriguez from the equipment, alarms blared throughout the base. Security doors began to close. The team grabbed Rodriguez and began their retreat, but found their exit route blocked. Marcus, fighting against the neural disruption, directed his remaining combat drones to create a new exit by blasting through a wall. The explosion rocked the base, providing the distraction the team needed to escape with Rodriguez. But as they rushed back to the stealth ship, Marcus detected a familiar energy signature approaching. It was General Zorthak's personal transport. The general had come to check on the neural disruptor project and arrived just in time to witness the rescue. His ship pursued the humans as they lifted off from Europa's surface. He's following us, reported the stealth ship's pilot, and he's jamming our communications. Marcus, still connected to his remaining combat drones, made a decision. He directed all his units to attack the general's ship, sacrificing them to give the stealth ship time to escape. The drones slam. 2 weeks after the Europa rescue mission, humanity prepared for what they believed would be the final confrontation with the Krellvorn. Intelligence suggested that General Zorthak had called for reinforcements from the Empire's home systems ships that would arrive within days. On Aegis Station, Captain Eliana Reyes addressed a gathering of military leaders, scientists, and operators. The mood was tense but determined. The Krellvorn will return with greater numbers and neural disruption technology, she said, her voice steady. We must strike before their reinforcements arrive. And we must neutralize their advantage. Dr. Chen stepped forward, displaying schematics on the main screen. We've developed a countermeasure to their neural disruptors. A quantum field generator that creates a protective bubble around our neural signals. Will it work? Asked Admiral Harrison, the highest-ranking officer present. In theory, Dr. Chen admitted. We haven't had time to test it thoroughly. Marcus Lee, still recovering from neural strain but cleared for duty, studied the schematics. It's our best option, but we'll need to get close to their command ships to be effective. Eliana nodded. That's why we're going to deploy a new strategy. Instead of spreading our operators across thousands of units, we'll concentrate their control on fewer, more powerful machines. Quality over quantity, the plan took shape. Humanity would launch a direct assault on the Krellvorn base on Titan. The goal was not just to defeat the alien forces, but to capture General Zorthak himself. Without his leadership, they hoped the invasion would fall apart. The next day, preparations were complete. 100 operators, including Marcus and the newly trained Maya Santos, prepared to connect to the neural link system. Before entering his pod, Marcus spoke with Maya. Remember your training. With the neural disruption countermeasures, the connection might feel different. Trust your instincts, but don't push too hard. Maya nodded, her face showing a mixture of fear and determination. I've never done this in actual combat before. None of us had until a month ago, Marcus said with a smile. You'll do fine. As the operators entered their pods, Eliana made a shipwide announcement. Today we fight not just for our survival, but for our future. The Krellvorn came to our system believing their superior numbers guaranteed victory. They didn't understand what makes humans unique. Not just our neural technology, but our adaptability, our creativity under pressure, our unwillingness to surrender even against overwhelming odds. In orbit around Saturn, the human fleet appeared. It was smaller than before. Many ships had been lost in previous battles, but each vessel now carried enhanced weapons and defenses adapted from captured alien technology. The real power, however, was in the specialized units deployed from these ships. Unlike the previous waves of relatively simple drones and mechs, these were fewer in number but far more sophisticated. Each incorporated Krellvorn technology, enhanced by human engineering, and each carried a quantum field generator to protect against neural disruption. On Titan, General Zorthak watched the approaching human fleet with all 4 eyes narrowed. "They are either brave or foolish," he told his commanders. "They must know our reinforcements are coming." "The neural disruptors are ready, General," reported Velthar. "All ships and ground units are equipped." "Excellent. Deploy all forces, and activate the disruptors at maximum power." The Krellvorn fleet lifted off from Titan, forming a defensive screen around the moon. Ground-based weapons powered up, targeting the approaching human ships. In the Neural Link Center on Aegis Station, the operators connected to their assigned units. Each controlled only 10 to 20 machines now, rather than hundreds, allowing for deeper connection and more precise control. Marcus felt the difference immediately. His consciousness merged with his units more completely than ever before. He could sense every system, every weapon, every movement with perfect clarity. The neural disruptors activated, sending waves of quantum interference across space. But the human countermeasures held. The operators felt some resistance, a slight fuzziness in the connection, but maintained control. "Countermeasures holding at 85% efficiency," Dr. Chen reported. "Better than expected." "All units commence attack," Eliana ordered. The battle began with a coordinated assault on the Krellvorn fleet. The human-controlled units moved with precision that surprised even the aliens, who had thought they understood humanity's capabilities. Marcus directed his units to target the aliens' neural disruptor emitters, using data from previous encounters to identify their locations on the enemy ships. Maya, despite her inexperience, showed remarkable skill, her units dancing through enemy fire to strike at vulnerable points. On his flagship, General Zorthak grew increasingly frustrated as reports came in. "The disruptors are not working." "How is this possible?" "They've adapted," Velthar replied, surprise evident in his voice. "Somehow they've developed countermeasures in just 2 weeks." "Impossible," the general growled. "No species can innovate that quickly." But the evidence was before his eyes. The human units were penetrating his defenses, disabling ships, and targeting command centers with uncanny accuracy. The battle extended to Titan's surface, where Krellvorn ground forces engaged human-controlled mechs and combat drones. Here, too, the aliens found themselves outmaneuvered despite their superior numbers. In the Neural Link Center, Eliana received reports of the battle's progress. "We're breaking through their outer defenses," she told Dr. Chen. "But our operators are starting to show strain. The countermeasures require more mental focus." Dr. Chen monitored the operators' neural patterns. "We can maintain this level for another hour, maybe less." "It will have to be enough," Eliana replied. "Locate Zorthak's flagship. That's our primary target." Marcus, connected to his units and to the battle network, detected a distinctive energy signature from one of the larger alien ships. "I've found it," he reported. "The General's flagship. Heavy defenses, multiple layers of shields. All available units converge on that target," Eliana ordered. The human forces redirected, focusing their attack on Zorthak's flagship. The alien vessel's defenses were formidable, but under the concentrated assault they began to fail. General Zorthak watched as his ship's shields weakened. "Prepare my shuttle," he ordered. "I will not be captured by humans." But as he moved toward the hangar bay, the ship shuddered under a direct hit. Emergency systems activated, sealing off sections of the vessel, including his escape route. "Find another way off this ship," he commanded his officers. On Aegis Station, Maya reported a breakthrough. "I've penetrated their command ship's outer hull. My units are inside. It was a dangerous move. Inside the alien vessel, the neural disruption would be stronger, the countermeasures less effective." But Maya maintained control, her exceptional neural compatibility giving her an edge. Her units, small, highly mobile drones equipped with weapons and hacking interfaces, moved through the alien ship's corridors. They encountered Krellvorn soldiers and engaged in brief violent skirmishes. "I've located their bridge," Maya reported. "General Zorthak is there trying to reach the escape pods." "Capture if possible," Eliana ordered. "But neutralize if necessary." Maya directed her units to surround the bridge. Some engaged the alien guards while others accessed the ship's systems, sealing doors and trapping the general and his command staff. Outside, the battle continued. The human forces had gained the upper hand, but both sides had suffered heavy losses. The operators were reaching their limits, the strain of fighting through neural disruption taking its toll. Marcus felt the pressure in his mind, like a building headache that threatened to overwhelm him. But he pushed through it, focusing on supporting Maya's units inside the flagship. Bridge secured, Maya reported, her mental voice showing signs of strain. Zorthak is cornered. Inside the alien flagship, General Zorthak found himself trapped on his own bridge, surrounded by small human drones that hovered just beyond reach, weapons trained on him and his officers. A larger drone moved forward, its camera focusing on the general. Through it, Maya spoke. Her voice translated into the Krellvorn language. General Zorthak, in the name of humanity, I demand your surrender. The general's 4 eyes blinked in different patterns, a sign of agitation in his species. I do not surrender to machines, he growled. These are not just machines, Maya replied. I control them. A human controls them. As Captain Reyes told you from the beginning, you have 1 million soldiers, but we possess 1 million machines. And that makes all the difference. For a long moment, the general stood silent. Then, with a gesture that seemed to cause him physical pain, he lowered his weapon. I yield, he said. But know this, human, the Empire will send others. This war is not over. Perhaps, Maya replied. But today's battle is. The capture of General Zorthak marked the turning point. Without his leadership, the Krellvorn forces fell into disarray. Some continued fighting, but many surrendered when they learned their general had been taken. 3 hours later, the Battle of Titan was over. The human forces had suffered losses, ships destroyed, operators experiencing severe neural strain, but they had achieved victory. On Aegis Station, the operators were disconnected from the neural link system. Many required medical attention, their minds exhausted from the prolonged battle and the effort of fighting through neural disruption.